Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our regular call board meeting on April 18th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Estill County Board of Education Boardroom on Main Street in Irving, Kentucky. At this time, I would like to call our meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone, and we start all of our meetings by standing to say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for that. I'd like to remind everyone at the door as you come into the boardroom, there's a sign-in sheet if you'd like to sign in. Mr. Brock, do we have any revisions to this agenda at this time?
None that's not in front of you, but since it has been revised since I sent it out yesterday, 3E has been added, 4G, and we moved 4H to consent instead of action. They're all on the agenda that you have and that's at the door, but since it was, and we did send it out, but since since yesterday, I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Brock. First on our agenda, we have our recognitions, and I would like to start with our middle school presentations. I'd like to ask Ms. Halcomb to come forward.
I'm going to let them introduce themselves and do the entire presentation for you. They have worked with Mr. Mike Flynn on this presentation, and these are 4 of our student council members and 4 of our outstanding students who are going to talk about kind of our journey from the beginning of the year till now, and then also what's coming up at the middle school. So I'm going to turn it over to you all.
Hi, I'm Bradley Brenniger, and I'm in the 7th grade at Estill County Middle School, and I'm on student council.
Hi, I'm Tinley Flynn, and I'm in 6th grade on student council.
I'm Kinley Brown, and I'm in 8th grade, and I'm in student council.
I'm Jonathan Dooley, and I'm in 7th grade, and I'm on student council.
Estill County Middle School on track for student excellence. Social awareness programs, Red Ribbon Week. Each year, our student council plans and organizes fun and educational activities that encourage a drug-free environment and culture at ECMS. This year, we hosted special theme days each week, such as Say Boo to Drugs Day, where everyone wore Halloween costumes. In an effort to involve our staff, we hosted a pumpkin decorating contest for our staff members. This year, we partnered with the local Mercy Health Hospital, who provided additional funds to our program. Bully Prevention Week. Each year, our student council also co-sponsors the ECMS Bully Prevention Week with the ECMS Youth Service Center. We provide bracelets, pencils, bookmarks, and other items to our students and staffs that promotes the importance of not being a bully, reporting bullying to a trusted adult, and also about just being kind to one another. Our students are also given a daily Google Classroom assignments that target these areas throughout the week. Prize drawings are held amongst those who participate. Verb. Promoting health awareness and eating habits and obesity among our student body is another focus that Student Council focuses on every year. Our Student Council and the Youth Service Center co-sponsors the VERB program at ECMS. Verbs are action words, and our VERB program is all about physical activity and healthy snacking. We meet every Thursday during the months of September and October. We sponsor game time that includes games like kickball, wiffle ball, and even line dancing. We also take advantage of this time to educate our participants on the importance of making healthy food choices when snacking. Then we provide them with healthy snacks. College and career awareness. Our students are given opportunities to actively get involved in increasing our students' awareness of careers and colleges. Student council members are responsible for researching either a different career or college and creating a poster display including important facts about the career or college. These posters are rotated monthly on our school's career and college awareness bulletin board. Staff holiday luncheon. Another aspect of our service programs is showing appreciation to those who support us on a daily basis. At Christmas time, students host a holiday luncheon for all the staff members at ECMS. They bring a variety of foods and treats to the staff members to enjoy. They also serve the staff members during the luncheon, making sure that they have what they need. It's a great time to give back to teachers and create wonderful opportunities for positive student-teacher interactions.
Cultural diversity and inclusiveness. Our student council recently visited Washington, D.C. 15 student council members went on a trip, and while there, they had the opportunity to attend Shenyun at the Kennedy Center for Arts Opera House. The Shenyun is theatrical dance and music performance that tells about Chinese history and culture. We also visited the Holocaust Museum, where we saw the results of society that did not embrace diversity and inclusiveness. During our trip to Washington, D.C., we also had the opportunity to visit many monuments, museums, and memorials. While we visited these sites, Mr. Flynn was able to share many facts about the people, leaders that these sites memorialized. Mr. Flynn learned much of this information through his participation in the KEDC Charge Grant. DC was fun, but our main purpose for being there was to attend the Lead Leadership Conference. During this conference, we had the opportunity to network with students from 30 other states and 6 other countries. During the conference, we participated in idea sharing workshops and deep dive workshops that focused on specific leadership topics. On the last day of the conference, we were given the opportunity to get in groups and discuss what we learned during the conference and how we could bring back to our own community. We also had the opportunity to learn how our social media platforms could be used to create a change and promote a positive community by creating TikToks that demonstrated what we had learned during our sessions. Each of our groups created a TikTok on why it is important for students to attend this conference. Each year, our Youth Service Center arranges for one of our students to serve a legislative page in Frankfurt. We also invited a group of the students' peers to come along and witness the process from the gallery. We also take advantage of this opportunity and take our students to visit the Kentucky History Museum as well. This year, they visited the Kentucky Military History Museum.
Transition programming. Our student council recently visited all the 5th graders at their schools and discussed with them what it's like to be a student at ECMS. Next, all the 5th graders came to our school where they got to tour the building, meet the staff, and learn more about our school.
Celebrating success. The Whistle Stop is a part of our PBIS program, which allows us to reward students who are successful on a daily basis with good behavior. Students earn 5 e-books each day they do not have any office-managed behavior issues. Students also have the opportunity to earn extra e-books for demonstrating our school-wide expectations in an experimental manner. Monthly mixers. Each month, students are also rewarded for good behavior by being allowed to participate in our monthly mixers. Our most recent monthly mixer was an Easter egg hunt on the practice field, complete with a visit from the Easter Bunny. Blue carpet awards. Just last month, we invited every student in grades 6 through 9 who scored on a proficient or distinguished in one or more areas of the 2023 KSA test to attend our Blue Carpet Awards. During this event, students and their guests were treated to a wonderful sit-down meal, and each student received medals for each of their accomplishments on the KSA test.
Yet to come, our school has many activities planned for the remainder of the year. Partner Appreciation, host an event recognizing all school and community partners who make our program successful. Spring Fling, host a middle school year-end dance in celebration of another great year, a tradition that has been in place as long as even Mr. Flynn can remember, and he's old. Sixth grade transition one-to-one mentoring. Fifth graders will come to ECMS and be paired up with a current sixth grader and follow a portion of their schedule to get a true feel for what it's like to be an ECMS engineer. Sixth and seventh grade awards program, eighth grade promotion and awards program, Louisville History and Arts trip, a 2-day summer trip to Louisville to see the Fraser History Museum, the Louisville Slugger Museum, the Derby Dinner Theater, and the Louisville Zoo. Always striving to improve. At ECMS, we never want to become complacent. We are always looking for new ways to improve our school culture and climate. We want to provide our students and staff with an environment that will allow everyone, student and staff, to reach their greatest potential. One way we are doing this is by constantly reviewing our PBIS system. We are very excited to announce our new school-wide expectations schedule to introduce to the 2024-2025 school year. Questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That one right there. Before they sit down, thank you all for coming. You all did a great job. These are our new school-wide expectations, and these were put together by our PBIS team and our students with everybody's input. So these will actually start in school next year. These are our new posters that will be hanging around the schools, and we'll also have these posted in our classrooms. But they have our train behind them, and it's our track, school-wide expectations track, teamwork, respect, accountability, character, and knowledge. So we are super, super proud of all of our kiddos, and thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Halcom. It looks like a lot of exciting things are going on at the middle school.
We are very busy. We've got 8th grade baseball tonight also, so they're playing right now.
Okay, thank you all very much. Next on our agenda, we have our ATC engineering program, our TSA update.
Okay, thank you very much. I know y'all know who I am, most of you do anyway. But a lot of you guys may not realize what I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years, and that's teaching engineering at the ATC. And 2 years ago, we started a program. It's a career and technical student organization, and it's called TSA, or Technology Student Association. Now, TSA is not new. It started in 1978, but it is new to Estill County. And over the last couple of years, I've been asked a lot, what is TSA? What do you guys do? And so I decided that it would be a good time to come and kind of explain what we do. So in putting this presentation together, I want to do a year review as to what our students have been up to. Okay, so we were founded in 2022. Our first official year was 22-23. This is our second year. And even though TSA has a lot to do, I mean, right here it says the Technology Student Association is a national nonprofit organization. We're engaged in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. We are one of the 8 nationally recognized CPSOs in the country. We're very similar to like FFA or FBLA, but we do, our own thing based in STEM. So there's been 5 million students have gone through TSA over the since 1978, which is quite a bit. This came from the TSA website. The next couple slides came from the TSA website, but the last few slides will be kind of just a year review for us. But this is actually our pictures here. This is Mason Isaacs. He is a winner this year in the CAD variety of challenging STEM competitions, 44 to be exact. There's actually 40 at nationals, but they host 44 at state. 4 of those competitions are state only. But we have probably, I think we were in possibly, I think it was 12 of the 44 this year. And that's quite a bit when you've got kids doing this. 12 competitions that we took to state. They all focus on career and technical skills. They are customized to leadership programs. We do their service projects, achievement recognition, and networking opportunities. And there are a lot of networking opportunities for these kids in TSA. It amazes me just in the last couple of years at how much we've gotten to meet with UK or EKU or the CTC and put these kids in front of the colleges, in front of the people that are actually making decisions about their scholarships, which thrills me. Oh. And I'm not loud enough. Not for the video. Can you hear me now? Okay, no problem. Okay, that was, they know I like to talk, so. Okay, next slide, please. Can you hear me now? It's good? Oh, okay. All right, so the next slide has got some more TSA facts on there. So, and I'm sorry. These also, the second picture here is 3 of our winners. They were in audio podcasting. They came in first place this year. And so that is Brianna Delaware, Maddie Milby, and Marley Isaacs. And so that they are getting their medals and shaking hands with our state TSA president there. Okay, now next slide. Okay, some more facts about TSA. Like I said, there's 300,000 plus middle and high school student members. They are, and this blows my mind, and like I said, this came straight from TSA's website. They are 100% likely to graduate from high school if they are involved in TSA. They love it, and it's challenging, and it keeps them involved and engaged, and I've seen that firsthand. 75% are college bound. I've seen kids who got into the program who have completely changed what they want to do with their life. Mason's one of them. So, you know, his goal is to go to UK and become a civil engineer, and I have no doubt that he will do that, or something. You know, if he gets in there and just as another type of engineering, I have no doubt that he won't be successful. Let's see, 39% are minority representation. There are a whole bunch of teachers that are chapter advisors and a whole bunch of schools and 48 states to date that are involved in TSA. So it's not a small organization, it's a large organization. We actually competed with about 1,800 plus students in Louisville, Kentucky this year, which is a lot. And so for our kids to do as well as they did, I was just blown away. Especially being our second year in the competition. That is because we walked in knowing nothing, year one, and these guys did awesome. I mean, they blew my mind. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry, you go back one. I forgot to recognize my picture here. This is Landon Laurie and Zach Young, and that is them on stage receiving their, they got second place in structural engineering and design, and so that's their picture with the TSA president. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Okay, so here's our TSA. We won 4 different competitions in either first or second place this year. We had audio podcasting. We did CAD engineering. The girls won audio podcasting. Mason won CAD engineering on his own. He is the only one that was a solo competitor. He went into a competition, and it was kind of funny because Mason, if you know him, he doubts his own intelligence, and which is kind of funny. But he came out like 4 or 5 hours later, and he said, "I don't think I did very good." He said, "There was this assembly that we had to put together, and we designed it, like he was given something to design and put on blueprints, and he said, I got like 7 out of the 12 pieces together. I didn't finish it. And I said, Mason, if it was hard for you, I'm sure it was hard for everybody. They're not gonna give you something that everybody can finish, because then they can't tell who did the best. And then they called his name for first place, and I thought, I don't know who was more shocked. I was like, I was not surprised, but he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got first place. So he did awesome. And these boys here, this is our drone team. First time in the state of Kentucky, and the first time Estill County. We actually purchased a drone in pieces, and I'll be honest with you, there's no way I could have done this. I looked at it and went, nope, not me. They put this together. And actually, we have one of the students here, Darvik Stevens, he actually flew the drone as well. And this is their picture. There are, I think there's 5 in the picture, but there was about 6 of them that actually worked on the drone, on and off, 7 maybe, because one of them didn't go on, but then there was 2 that was kind of unofficial team members. So this is their picture, receiving their plaque and their medals at TSA. Next, thank you. And then this is kind of our year in review, okay? So one of the things that I love about TSA is its co-curricular. We are project-based, engineering is project-based, I guess, you know, curriculum, and we can take anything that they give us and put it into the classroom, and it still fits in the state standards and the national science standards. So that's awesome, because they get to actually choose what they want to do. It's not like I say, hey, you're gonna do this. I lay this out for them, and they get to say, I want to build a kayak made out of PVC and, you know, like in a marine grade shrink wrap. Or I want to build a solar car, or I want to build a drone. And so that's what they did. And if you see Bobby Snowden is in the picture there, Bobby was an amazing help. He volunteered his time and came and helped those boys every day in the afternoon for about a month, I'd say. What do you think? And so he still comes back. We have 2 great volunteers. We have Ronald Mullins. He comes religiously and helps us too, and does all kinds of awesome things. And then Bobby, he was specifically helped with the drones, so I do not do any of this by myself. They and the kids do all of these things. But we have pictures of different students doing different projects, working in the lab, and they're just kind of, some of them are working on cars, some of them are doing some woods, like, I don't even know. These girls were doing something here, but I just kind of wanted to showcase that we do this in class. It's not, they don't even have to do it after school unless they want to do it at a competitive level. The co-curricular part is you can do it as a grade, and you can do it to this level as a grade, or you can decide to be an active member of TSA, and you can do it as a competition. You can go to regions, and you can try to compete there, or you can take it all the way to state. And you can tell we had 37 students that went to state with us this year. And we ended up with 4 teams. We had 13 students who are planning on going to nationals this year. So I'm like, it blows me away. Next slide, please. Okay, some more co-curricular. Here's one of the pictures here is our boys with their kayak. They literally built a kayak out of PVC and shrink wrap, marine grade shrink wrap. And that is all that's in it. And then one of them gets in it and actually like throws it all the way across the pool at UK, or not UK, but U of L. And it is hilarious. And let's see, these guys here were just a random picture of them and working on, we were actually doing the 3D printers that day, kind of working on those. They do a lot of 3D printing for TSA for different parts and pieces. They have a game board that they can make, board game competition, and they make a lot of their pieces for that. And then these boys here, they were trying to be funny because we actually did do the dragsters, the CO2 dragsters, and they're doing first, second, third place. Who won? And the first place got to take their car to state. So you can tell the one in the middle is the one that actually they kind of like did their first, second, third. Next slide, please. These are some of the leadership conferences that TSA affords for us to be able to go to. The picture on the left is 2 of my officers that actually were in a leadership conference in Lexington in the fall. The picture in the middle is, it was CTE week in Frankfurt, and that is actually PSA, HOSA, and Skills. We all went together, and that's a picture of us in front of the Capitol. And then the third picture is actually a picture of a leadership conference that I went to, because they also recognize that their teachers need to be trained and need to have leadership conferences as well. And so we were talking about testing load on some of their projects. And so those are just 3 of the leadership conferences that we got to attend this year. Okay, next slide. Regional conference, we go to the EKU. They actually have several across the state. We choose EKU's conference region because it is closest to us, but we can go to different ones. Let's see, our picture on the left and the right are boys who are actually flying drones. Now these guys are a different drone set. These were smaller drones that they actually had to code and make it go through an obstacle course. And then we've got a picture in the center of a group that were actually on a tour too at EKU. So we got to take some kids on a tour at EKU, and we had some kids competing at EKU at the same time. So some of the kids have some missions, so they don't actually have an active competition, but they got to go because they did the work there. So we actually arranged the tour for them while they were there. So they all got to do something while they were there. Next slide, please. Here's our state conference. It's held at the Marriott in Louisville every year. We've got group picture here. Everybody's having a pretty good time. I think we were super tired by the first picture on the left. I can see the bags under my eyes from here. But this guy here, Jackson Clark, he was in a competition where they actually go in with a toolkit. They give them it's called Technology on Demand, I believe is what it's called. And they actually just give them a prompt and they give them some supplies, and based on what they have in their toolkit, they have to build a tower, or they have to build I think at Regions they had to do like a hand mechanism that would, like a lever that could pick up as many balls as possible. This one's to build the tower and hold the ball as tall as possible. And it's just kind of, I call it the MacGyver contest, because it's like, what can you use in your tool bag to make something do what it's supposed to do. It was pretty cool. All right, next slide. And here is a picture of the entire group at state conference. There's a lot of us. That was the last day before we left, and they were elated because we had just found out that we had 4 groups that were qualified for nationals that day. So, and our last picture is just a picture of all of our guys that actually did place, and they are in front of the background that they had for us to take pictures in. So I had the official picture in the first, and then these are the pictures that we actually took. So our next steps for this year, this all was just this 1 year. So, you know, and this is our 2nd year. So it's pretty amazing what these guys have done in just a year's time. Some of these guys are brand new to this. Darvik, this is his 1st year, and I hope that he's going to be with me till he graduates. And all of them, I hope that they're with me till they graduate, and I think they will be. They seem to have a good time with it. And so what our goal is next is to take our winners to nationals in Orlando, Florida, and that competition is in June. So hopefully we can come back in the fall and give you guys a good report as to what happened there. So thank you guys for your time. I hope I didn't go over too much.
It's really exciting things that are going on at the ATC, and we want to commend your hard work, and we have some awesome students. And I just want to point out that not only do we have students from Estill County, but we have students from Powell County that attend there. So it's not just our students. And
we had several Powell County students that were in that picture as well. We had one group that I just knew they were going to place to go to nationals, and I don't know what happened. They were in the top 12, but they didn't make it to the final round. And they had the most amazing game board. They literally made a treasure case box and had it like engraved. And I mean, they used all the tools that we had in our shop, plus the 3D printers to make the pieces. They have the rules, and they also have to do, not only do they make these projects, they have to do portfolios that go along with these and document everything they do. So that sometimes gets them because they're like, oh, paperwork. And I'm like, but you don't have the paperwork, it didn't happen. And so they find, and sometimes the paperwork is what qualifies them or disqualifies them in the competition. And so they find that out too. But yes, Powell County has been awesome. They've been really good and the kids have been great. And we don't have, everybody gets along really well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a great experience.
They're all our kids.
Yes,
Yep.
they
Do you
are.
have anything, Mr. Brock, that you'd like to comment? Thank you for that, for those reports. So, moving right along, next on our agenda, we have some action items. Would you like to discuss those, Mr. Brock?
Sure. You want to discuss the first one? First one's consideration for approval of law enforcement supervisor position, which would be like a chief of police. Sheriff Flynn and I met a couple weeks ago, and we talked about SROs and going forward. And Sheriff Flynn has been very great. We've been very fortunate to partner with him, and he's been wonderful to work with. After we talked, we both come to the conclusion that he could use his officers that he's got right now as SROs and get them back in the community to help police more, and then we could kind of move forward back instituting our own police department again. So in order to get that started, we have to have these positions. So the first one is like a chief, would be like a chief of police for us, and the second one would just be SROs. And we're looking to hire 3 total, which is going from like 2 to 3 SROs, so that we'll have one on the middle high school campus and one both elementaries.
So, Mr. Brock, can we do those as a vote together, or do you want to do separate votes?
separately.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so first on our agenda is consideration for approval of a law enforcement supervisor position. I would need a motion to move forward with that. Ms. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Do I have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. Is there any discussion? I think that maybe Brian Covey is joining us remotely, and there he is via Zoom. Hi, Mr. Covey. Did you hear the motion and the second that's on the floor?
I did, Donna.
Okay. Do we have any discussion or any questions concerning this? If not, I'd like to call for a vote at this time. And since Mr. Covey is voting remotely, I'll do a roll call vote. Sheila Samples,
Yes.
Tammy Hardy,
Yes.
Carrie Smallwood,
Yes.
Brian Covey,
Yes.
Donna Isbert. All in favor. It's a 5-0 vote, so motion carries. Next, as Mr. Brock discussed, we have consideration for approval of our school resource officer or an SRO position. I need a motion to move forward with that. Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Do I have a second? Sheila Samples makes a second. I have a motion and a second on the floor to move forward with this. We have any discussion? At this time, I'd like to call for a roll call vote. Sheila Samples,
Yes.
Tammy Hardy,
Yes.
Carrie Smallwood,
Yes.
Brian Covey,
Yes.
Donna Isbert. So I have a 5-0 vote. The motion carries. Thank you for that. Next, Mr. Rock, we have consideration for approval of the revised 23-24 school calendar.
This should be the last one that we have to do. We've done it before. On April the 8th, we took a teacher equivalency or teacher work day, and we need to move, and then we had another day we were off. So we need to move closing day from the 17th to the 20th, but the students' last day will still be the 17th, so graduation will still be that night. That's just the closing day will now move for teachers to the 20th.
I need a motion for approval of the revised school calendar for the 23-24 year. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do we have any discussion about the moving forward with the school calendar? If not, I'd like to do a roll call vote since Mr. Covey is remote. Sheila Samples,
Yes.
Tammy Hardy,
Yes.
Carrie Smallwood,
Yes.
Brian Covey,
Yes.
Donna Isbert. So I have a 5-0 vote. So we have a updated school calendar. Next on the agenda, we have consideration for approval of additional district agriculture teacher. Would you like to discuss that, Mr. Brock?
Yes, so we already have one agriculture teacher at the high school, but this is a program that, because of our students and interest, that I feel like we need to expand and we need to invest in so that we can have more students involved. This would be a second position. I know traditionally, a few years ago, they had 2 positions, and the program was very beneficial to our school and to our kids. And so this is just putting that second position back.
Okay. I need a motion then for approval of an additional agriculture district-wide teacher. Shayla Samples makes a motion. Tammy Hardy, was that a second?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any discussion at this time? If not, I'd like to move forward with a roll call vote. Shayla Samples,
Yes.
Tammy Hardy,
Yes.
Carrie Smallwood,
Yes.
Brian Covey,
Yes.
Donna Isford, yes. Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next on our agenda, we have consideration for approval of bids for property, fleet, liability, and workers' compensation insurance. Mr. Brock?
So this is something that we have to have every year, this being my first year, and also with the expectation of insurance prices to go up 20 to 30%. I feel in the best interest of our school system to open this back up to bid and compare the bids and then award the contract from there instead of just continuing with who we have. Who we have has done a wonderful job, but I just want to make sure that we're getting the best value for our school system.
So I would need a motion for approval of bids for property, fleet, liability, and workers' compensation insurance. Do I have a motion? Tammy Hardy makes a motion. I need a second. Carrie Smallwood makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to move forward with a roll call vote. Sheila Samples,
Yes.
Tammy Hardy,
Yes.
Carrie Smallwood,
Yes.
Brian Covey,
Yes.
and Donna Isford is a yes, so the motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, that brings us on our agenda to our consent items. Would you like to discuss those, Mr. Brock?
Sure, really quickly, it's just the minutes from March, and you all have those in your packet, the treasurer's report and paying of bills, you have that. Travel, you all know, conferences and different things like that. CASBO is coming up, we gotta go to it as well. The addendum to procurement procedures, Angie, that's where when the auditors came in last year, they said we had to add that, is that correct?
That was from the state, that wasn't actually our audit.
Okay, from the state. Oh, that was because of the,
Came in and done our
yeah.
review with our ESSER.
that was because of the ESSER funding, that's right. And so we just need to add those. The psychological services is where we contract with them. The surplus sales, we have some surplus at the bus garage that we cannot use. Instead of it sitting around, we want to sell that and get some monetary value out of it. And then approval of the independent auditor's contract. We will use the same auditor we did last year. They did a very good job. We're pleased with them, so that's the contract you would be approving to go with that same company.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the consent items as discussed. If you're okay to approve all of them in one motion. Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Do I have a second? Carrie Smallwood makes a second. Do we have any discussion related to the consent items? Is that surplus sale, is that gonna be an auction or
It's a
silent bid?
sealed bid.
Sealed bid?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, it'll be advertised. It'll be a sealed bid. People can go by the bus garage and look at the items.
okay. And when does that start?
Well, after we advertise it, we'll give it some time.
Okay, so it's upcoming,
It
because
is.
I know we'll get questions
But,
about
but
that.
before we can compile the list and actually have the bids and advertise, we have to have it approved.
Okay,
But we will advertise it and give everybody plenty of time.
all right, perfect. All right, do we have any further discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a roll call, vote. Sheila Samples,
Yes.
Tammy Hardy,
Yes.
Carrie Smallwood,
Yes.
Brian Covey. Brian, are you with us?
Yes.
Donna Isford's a yes.
Did you hear me?
The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. I got your vote, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Next on the agenda, that brings us down to the superintendent's report.
Okay, so just a few updates, notifications of personnel. We do have some people that have put in for retirement and some that have resigned. You have the report. Retirement, retirees, Andrea and I talked earlier this week or last week, and we are going to celebrate our retirees in May and instead of June, because some of them's date is June 1st. And so if we wait to celebrate them in June, they can't be here to celebrate with us. So we're going to celebrate those in May. And then enrollment still at 2061, 91.98% attendance. We have our postings up, all of our job postings. We've tried to get them up early because usually in March and April is when college graduates start looking for job postings. I will say, compared to last year, we've had a lot more applicants getting them up early, I feel like. So that gives us opportunity to get the cream of the crop, so to speak. Looking at just updates and with my cohort here, Standard 1, that I have to report to you all because they require me to do so. We're in the midst of our last push for standards mastery for students. We've finished our diagnostics test. We've got some very good results. Very pleased with where we're at district-wide in improving our academics. And we're in this last home stretch push before the end of the year to try to move those kids on up to proficiency and to try to get them, the ones that have not got to grade level yet, to push them up to grade level. Very pleased with our students that have met their stretch goals. We've had several and we celebrate them and make sure that they know that it's a big deal. Also, the ATC, we're adding a welding program. We've met with some local partners, and that's something I'll be talking to you all about. And Angie, I've already talked to her a little bit about. We will probably have to kick in some money from the board to get that going, but the original bid started out about $500,000, then it got down to $360,000. And then Link Belt has generously donated a bunch of welders, so we're probably looking at the 90 to 100 range. I've reached out to Powell County and see if they'd be interested in partnering with us as it serves their students as well, and I'll get back with her. But we are adding that program. It is a program that is needed, and it's the #1 requested program. You can ask Mr. Yos of our students. So he told me if we was moving forward, he could fill it up tomorrow. And I said, well, we gotta talk to other people too, but we will be adding that. So that's under Standard 1. Standard 3, which is cultural. We have done several celebrations in the district as far as academics, kids meeting goals. You saw the blue carpet event that was put on by the middle school. Every school is celebrating their students for meeting that. We're in the home stretch of feeding and cooking for all our schools. As a matter of fact, I got a text today that said, when are you coming to feed the bus garage? And I said, I promise you, I'll get you by the end of the year. And they reminded me, Mr. Brock, there's 4 weeks left. I said, I got you.
Well, let us know when it is.
So we drew names today. West Irvin is the next one on the list. I'm sorry, Estill Springs, it was random and you all missed out, and I'm sorry, bus garage. But West Irvin, we will be feeding them Monday. So I'll be preparing food for them this weekend, and we'll have them Monday. The New Teachers Academy has a final meeting, I believe, Monday after school. That's went very well, and we're very pleased with the progress that they're making. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the principals and give them their 3 to 5 minutes.
Mr. Brock, did I also see an email that came through that the ATC was going to be hosting a paraeducator training class?
Yes.
Coming up?
Yeah.
So people that are interested, they ask about that a lot.
Yeah, we'll get that out on social media, so be looking for that on social media. And also, the night classes, those will be back this fall, and we'll get that advertised as well.
So when we were talking about an ATC for Estill and Powell County, a lot of adults ask about night classes, and so those are going to be coming your way. The first time we advertised and had it, we had not one single person sign up for it.
Yeah.
So tell everyone.
Yeah, we had it for the spring, and no adults signed up. We'll have it again this fall. Be looking for what those offerings will be. It'll be on our social media, and we'll talk about it in board meetings. But that's for
Estill and
adults,
Powell.
for Estill and Powell to get certifications at the ATC. And I also have to add real quick, we have been funded for our aviation program to start at the high school. The simulator has been completely paid for. They are putting it together at EKU right now. I met with President McFadden and the director of that program. And then the first year, the plan is to just get it in a space that kids can get on it and kind of play with it like a video game to gauge their interest. And then maybe next spring or next year, we'll start offering classes. And several of the classes are dual credit through EKU, so we can have a facilitator and kids can start to earn multiple things with aviation, including their pilot licenses and mechanics and stuff like that. So that's also a big win for our district. Now, Mr. Yost.
All right, before I get started with the high school part, I want to recognize two young men who were stuck outside, unfortunately. Miss Banks couldn't get a cell phone text in here. Zach Young and Landon Warrior, two of our TSA students over at the ATC who were placing in structural engineering at state competition this year. So they do a tremendous job. They're seniors at Estill County High School, and we're very proud of them and their accomplishments as well. So I want to recognize them before we get started. We've got a lot of great stuff going on at the high school. For those of you who've been around this for a little while now, you know that we are in the last month of the year, and that is a crazy time for high school. So gearing up for prom and graduation and all the senior festivities. But before that, we have spent the last couple weeks welcoming our incoming freshmen for next year. We've done the one-to-one mentoring the middle school was talking about with the fifth graders. We have done that now with our eighth grade students. They were able to come down and shadow classes. And then earlier this week, we got them scheduled for the fall. So we've been working with those eighth grade students, coming down and got to meet with all of them over the past couple of weeks. So we've been excited to host them. We also have found out that Ella Seal, who's a junior at the high school, is our governor's scholar for 2024. So we're very proud of her and that accomplishment. I wanted to highlight, I told you all last board meeting, we talked about our ACT results. Those are in. And what you have in front of you are two different ways of looking at the data. I talked to Ms. Samples before this started, and I said, I like the apples to apples look, but with accountability, you're looking at apples to oranges. So last year's junior class of 2024, their composite, what you see there, 17.27. We went up almost 0.7 of a point this year with the juniors from last year to this year. But the number you see in parentheses out next to the class of 2025 score is actually what they scored in the spring as sophomores. So they improved nearly a full point from the spring of 2023 to the spring of 2024. Especially, you see a 1.8 point increase in English, almost a full point in math, 0.6 in reading, and 0.8 in science. So we went up significantly with that group in each of the tested areas, and now we're back to where we were pre-COVID, and so we'll continue to grow from here. So I'm really proud of the teachers, the students, the effort they put in. There were students who hit benchmarks on the ACT this year who we were absolutely thrilled with the growth. I mean, we're talking kids who scored 6 and 7 points higher in a subject than they did as sophomores. So we were really proud of the effort that these students put forth, and we're looking forward to seeing the growth continue. In May, I'll be able to report to you on our sophomore ACT scores for this year. We just took that earlier this week, so we'll be able to report those scores to you all at the May board meeting as well. Just a few reminders again, prom, of course, May 4th. We want to make sure, I know this was sent out to you all by our staff, but senior week, May 13th through 17th, we've got baccalaureate coming up. We've got senior breakfast on May 16th, and of course, you all are invited to any and all of those events you all would like to come to. Graduation, again, Friday, May 17th, set at 7 p.m. in the high school gymnasium. We're in the home stretch for post-secondary readiness. We're sitting at 86% right now as of this moment. We were at 87% last year at the finish line. With the kids we still have to come in with industry certifications and things, I'm confident we're going to be 92 to 93% at minimum. So I know Mr. Brock and I have talked, and he'd love to see that 95 score. I think it's going to be very close. I know 92 to 93 is definitely going to be there, but that 95 mark is where we're really shooting to try to get. We had a few students who didn't pass into program assessments. We've already got the industry certifications with the pre-pack for family consumer sciences and pesticide licensing for agriculture to be able to get them industry certifications to be post-secondary ready as well. So we're working on all those things right now here as we come down to the last month of the year. So it's a really exciting time at the high school. We've got a lot of really great things going on, and thank you all again for your continued support.
Thank you, Mr. Yost.
Ms. Mullins?
I'm going to let Andrea be my Vanna.
Thank you all. I enjoy each month kind of, and I know we're kind of mid-month, but I do enjoy having the opportunity to go back and create this for you each month and kind of look at what we've accomplished. One thing that I recognized in looking at this document is how each of our stakeholder groups is really seen on the things that we're accomplishing in the month of April. We're touching our students, our staff, the community, and our families, and each of those are represented here on this document. We've had a couple of really good family learning nights that have been put together by Shay, our family resource coordinator. She is constantly a step ahead of us when it comes to bridging gaps between our school and our families and making sure that they have plenty of opportunities not only to just have access to our school, but to connect and learn with their students. We are really proud of one of our first graders, Charlie Taylor, who won it was a multi-county activity with the Recharge Grant. She designed a bookmark and it won. So we're really, really proud of Miss Charlie. And as you can see her smile there, she's excited too.
She happens to be my neighbor.
Well, there you go, Sheila. She's a sweet one.
She's a dog.
I did want to let you know that our chickens did hatch. We did have one funeral, and we talked about the cycle of life, and it went really well. But 9 of the 10 survived and are now thriving on farms. We partnered with the hospital, as we have done every year for the Teddy Bear Fair. What an awesome opportunity for our students to have access to our amazing hospital at a time when they're not sick or they're not coming up to have blood drawn or they're not in the emergency room. So our students look forward to that. We only had one pass out. There's usually one a year, and that one ended up okay. We did enjoy thoroughly. I've thanked Mr. Brock personally for allowing us the opportunity to have the teacher work day on Eclipse Day, because as you can see on the back of your document, which we'll get to, we had such fresh data from our 3rd, 4th, and 5th spring diagnostic already and our K2 growth monitoring data piece, and we needed a day to really be able to talk about that and kind of set in place exactly what we wanted to do moving forward to the end of the school year. So that day, not only was it much appreciated, but it gave us an opportunity to kind of have some fun and treat our staff. The picture underneath there is indeed a child laying on the sidewalk after having hunted 12,000 eggs. We asked our community to come together and donate eggs, our community and our family, so that we could do a school-wide egg hunt. We have to check these eggs because of allergies, so I can officially tell you that all 12,022 of them were checked and verified and all found and sent home for spring break. But we do appreciate our community helping with that. Our STLP team for the 2nd year in a row came home with some state champion medals, which is huge for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. So the future not only is bright for our STLP team at Estill Springs, but that only will strengthen our math and science at the middle school and at the high school. Allison talking about TSA, fits right hand in hand. So we're very proud of our students, very thankful for Miss Sarah Rose, Mr. Matthew Robertson, and all of our sponsors for STLP. At the top, my head ends up on a lot of posters, but that one was a great one that I hadn't seen before. This coming Monday, we're having a testing kickoff for our students as we prepare for not only the Kentucky Summit of Assessment for our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, but our K2 will be taking their spring iReady diagnostic during the same time frame. So it's going to be a testing environment for all of our students. But we're really excited about our kickoff parade on Monday. If any of you want to come down and join us, it'll start about 9:30. We're doing it just like we did our grandparent parade. And the weather so far looks like it's going to be good for us. But we did want to share that with you and let you know that we'd love to have you. I'm not going to go over all the data on the back, but what I do want to report is the novice reduction that has taken place at Estill Springs from fall to spring it's amazing. I'm so proud of the students, of the staff. There's so much to be said about the growth that we're finding with our students who are on an above grade level. We're cheering for them as well. but there's just something to be said about the growth that comes from every student, and I want you to really recognize the novice reduction that is taking place. I told Mr. Brock, through the support of the board, we have always had high-quality instruction and high-quality instructors, but we've really this year been able to piece it together with some additional resources on top of what you all have supported us with over the last few years, but the additional resources that we've gathered this year and a new assessment piece has really just meshed everything together, and we're seeing that as we celebrate growth. And growth is not always on grade level growth. It could be that a student is still below grade level, but growth is growth, and it's heading in the right direction, and we're celebrating that. So I wanted to share, this is just 3rd, 4th, and 5th. When K2 finish their spring I-Ready, I'll share that data with you as well. But thank you all for supporting our school, and as always, for allowing us an opportunity to share each month.
Thank you, Ms.
I would like
Mullins.
to say, in regards to the Estill that Jessica was talking about, we will be celebrating them at a board meeting. But our own Brian Kobe's daughter won first in the state, and she was not able to get her award that night. So I go to Somerset tomorrow to get her award, and then I'm hoping that we can bring all those kiddos that won and went to the May board meeting.
Thank you.
Jeremy, I sent in the flyer for South Urban. I don't know if it's in your packet or if you have it. I think it might be in your packet. But the first thing on it is numbers. Our numbers are still looking good for next year. We have 36 returning students. Those students are either 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds that are returning. We have 83 scheduled for screenings, and we already completed 1 screening. And since then, those numbers have gone up because every day people call to schedule screenings. In the middle, that's our last toddler time was last Friday. That is a partnership with Family Resource and Head Start puts that on. Those are the days that we don't have children in our building, and we're able to bring in community members, and that's also a good time for me to recruit students for preschool. That next picture is about units. In preschool, we teach in units similar to what we used to call thematic units. We finished up our gardening unit a couple weeks ago, and you can see that our kids have a garden there at South Urban. Don't know how good it's going to go over in the summer because they're gone, but they planted some things in that garden. And now we're in our insect unit. So they learn the life cycle of butterflies, and they let their butterflies have been released over the last couple weeks. Some of them released some today. In the bottom, in January we started our family fun nights that are a tour around the world. So it's to expose families and children to the cultures. And the last one was Italy. We combined that one with parent-teacher conference, and that was a really good idea because that would have been asking our families to come out 2 times in a month, and that's really hard for them. But when we combined it, we had the biggest turnout that we've ever had. So we'll continue that for next year, fall and spring. And then recruitment will be happening at the Mushroom Festival. We will be using we have a grant that's called CECC 0 to 5, and that is putting money into the community for ages 0 to 5 that also don't come to preschool. So ages 0 to 5 can visit our booth, and they will get some sort of educational item, game, or book, something of their choice. And I hope that we gain a lot of interest at the Mushroom Festival. And I believe that we're going to have kindergarten join us also. So kindergarten registration will be as well, I think. That's the plan.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you, Ms. Hall.
I'm going to be really, really fast. The kids did a great job of telling everything that was happening at the middle school. But we have been I-Ready testing, and I'm sure that you could probably hear me all the way to Ravenna. We have had students jump 116 points. We've had students testing out of I-Ready. I am beyond proud of the students and staff at the middle school. They have just blown me out of the water with their I-Ready scores. They are excited. They are coming into the office telling me about how much they went up. They are asking to retest if they didn't go up as much as they wanted to go up. They are truly working as hard as they can. and I'm so, so proud of them. On Monday, the 29th, we're having our Get Pumped About Testing pep rally. So if you all want to come out and watch that, we have some great things planned for our kids. We're also going to celebrate their growth on iReady at that pep rally. I wanted to, again, remind everybody that 8th grade promotion is May the 16th at 6. I hope all of you all can make it out to that. I know that's the board meeting also that night. But another thing, I wanted to talk about it with Miss Allison Banks, but she had already left. Mr. Dixon at the middle school is going to start shadowing her on Monday and working with her, collaborating with her on things that we can do at the middle school. So he's going to talk to her about 3D printing, bringing in some resources and working with our middle school students, and we're going to put that into our schedule next year. So we're going to really focus on getting some of those pathways and getting kids interested at the middle school before they even make it to the high school. So we have a teacher who's going to teach a medical science class. We've got the business classes and a communications class that we're really going to focus on. That way they can have an idea of what kind of pathway they want to go into when they go down to the high school. One of the biggest things, I just want to say how thankful I am for our teachers and staff on the Blue Carpet Awards. We had over 380 people attend, and it was phenomenal to see the staff and the students and the parents interact. If you haven't watched the TikToks on our Facebook page, please go and do so, because they truly show what's happening at the middle school right now, and I'm so proud of all of it. That's all that I have.
Thank you, Ms. Halcom. Do we have any other teacher or administrator that needs to speak at this time? Okay, so next we have board member forum. Does anyone have any comments or anything you'd like to share?
I just love seeing all the Facebook posts of all the schools, of what everybody's doing, and I just love watching it. Wish, my kids were still in school in a way. So, but I do want to say, if you have an Easter egg hunt next year, I want to be involved because that looked hilarious and amazing and fun.
I thought they were going to run me over. We had a good time.
Mr. Yost mentioned that Ella Seal was a Governor's Scholar. I think we have another Governor's Scholar. Yeah.
School for the Arts.
Yeah, so he's going to school.
GSA.
Yeah. So he's going to be a Governor's Scholar, and his mom and his grandmother were longtime educators here in the community. Miss Amy Nolan Hughes is his mother, and so we're super proud of him.
And his father taught for years in Powell County.
And his father, yeah. So,
Yeah,
sorry, I don't mean to leave out the details.
No,
Sorry.
we already announced that on our Facebook page.
He retired from
We're really
over
proud of Luke as well for getting Governor's School for the Arts.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that for years.
Yeah, so they just handed me that to share. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Mr. Covey, do you have any closing remarks?
No, ma'am. Other than just hearing these scores going up, it's very, very impressive, and I think our teachers and our administrators are second to none.
Mr. Rock, do you have any closing remarks?
Just proud to be here, proud of the work that's went on this year and the good team that we have, and we'll continue to pour into our kids and give them opportunities, and we'll continue to see them grow.
Mr. Simpson, do we have any public comments that came in? Okay. With all of that being said, I think that clock is 10 after 7 almost, and we are done. I'd like to call for a motion to adjourn. Miss Sheila Samples and Miss Carrie Smallwood. So this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for attending.
Yep.
Thank you. Did we ever get a meeting with CAC?
25th is what I've got, March, it's around the 25th.